Revelation 2526. From the 29th of October 1942. Disaster. Divine intervention. In a few moons the world will already be in the greatest agitation. The spiritual retrogression entails its consequences insofar as an event occurs which is to stop this development and reverse it. There is no other remedy, for people have been affected by severe suffering, and even this was unable to direct people's minds towards the spiritual, which, however, is absolutely necessary for spiritual development. For the world still holds them captive as if with fetters, and they regard every experience with a purely worldly attitude. Only when people understand that everything in the world is transient, only when they pay less attention to the world, will they turn their attention to the shaping of the soul. And only then will the development of the spiritual progress. But now a standstill has occurred where there is not a decline in development. And an always same experience would not bring about a change, and therefore something must happen which can bring about a change of thinking. Nothing in the world remains on the same level of development, everything slowly develops upwards, and only the human being sets a limit to its development through his will. And yet he has the task to increase this development to the highest degree on earth. And he can also do this with the right use of his will. But he uses his will to bring about a standstill by not paying attention to his task. His will fails and the earth no longer fulfills the purpose for the spiritual being in the last stage of development. It is no longer needed in any way because its actual purpose is disregarded. Consequently, earthly life is unlawfully claimed by people, and this must result in divine intervention. God must thereby make them understand that they do not live their lives in accordance with His will. He must direct their thoughts towards the end so that they give account of their lives and think of the approaching death. And this is the purpose of this last admonition from above, that a horror takes hold of people and thus they are urged into a different way of life which can awaken spiritual striving in them if they give in to the inner urge and use their will correctly. Yet the human being must always recognize this intervention as a divine mission if it is to be successful for his soul. He must believe that the Creator of heaven and earth himself is at work, that he, as Lord over the forces of nature, commands every element, and that it is therefore his will when the earth is afflicted by a natural disaster which is so great that the whole world is thrown into agitation. The whole world should take a mental stand on this. All people should ask themselves why the Creator sends such a visitation upon the earth, and anyone who gains the right insight from this will no longer be endangered in his higher development. Amen.